I had a classmate back in high school. I wouldn't exactly call him a close friend, but we were more than just classmates. We talked sometimes and were generally cool with each other. Back then, I had already started working out, and he used to call me ripped, so we got along fine. After high school, we went our separate ways, but we were still friends on Facebook. One day, we ended up chatting, and I honestly don't even remember how the conversation turned sour, but he suddenly got really hostile and started insulting me. It escalated to the point where he created a group chat with some of his classmates just to talk trash about me. They were all saying things about me, but one thing he said stuck with me all these years. He said, "You'll probably end up as a computer shop attendant anyway." That hit me hard at the time, especially because we were both studying information technology. It felt like he was saying I would never amount to anything. Fast forward to now, I'm working remotely for a company. No RTO, fully work from home. I get to keep most of my salary since I don't spend much on transportation or food outside. I can help my family financially, and after work, I can literally just lay down and rest. Overall, life turned out pretty good for me. Earlier today, I randomly ran into him. I noticed he was wearing a white uniform, so I thought maybe he was still studying or doing some kind of internship. I asked him, "Are you still studying?" He said no, he's already working. Turns out he works at an automotive company as technical support. It's a decent job, nothing wrong with it, but from what he told me, he earns a lot less than what I currently make. I'll admit something here. The moment he told me that, the memory of what he said years ago immediately came back to my mind. So I said something along the lines of, "Oh, that's cool. At least you didn't end up as a computer shop attendant like you said I would." He kind of went quiet after that, and the conversation became awkward. Later, I started wondering if maybe I shouldn't have said that and just let the past stay in the past. Part of me feels justified because what he did back then really hurt me and stuck with me for years, but another part of me thinks I might have been petty for bringing it up. The breakdown. There are three main layers to what happened here. The power of core memories. When someone attacks our potential, especially when we are young and unsure of ourselves, our brain files that under danger. You didn't just remember a sentence, you remembered the shame and anger of being ganged up on in that group chat. You used that hurt as fuel to succeed, which is a great coping mechanism, but it kept the memory alive and fresh. The validation trap. You felt a rush of satisfaction because, in your mind, you won the competition he started years ago. By reminding him of his words, you were effectively saying, "You were wrong about me, and look, you aren't even where you thought you would be." It was a moment of seeking justice for your younger self. The mismatch. Here is the tricky part. For you, that comment was a defining moment of your life. For him, he might have forgotten he ever said it. To him, he was just an old classmate catching up, and then suddenly you threw a grenade from 5 years ago into the middle of the sidewalk. That's why it got awkward. You were both having two completely different conversations. Reddit takes. Woodmom2216. The fact this bothers you tells you your behavior was beneath your expectations for yourself. How you treat others shapes you. If you see him again, apologize and explain that his comment had rattled around in your head. By the way, high school kids project their own fears for themselves. Lithigan. This is empathetic and really beautifully said. And as I tell my teenagers, nobody is their best self in middle or high school. I said something that I thought was funny to a teammate and friend when I misheard a comment in high school, and it actually was both low-key mean and embarrassing. It weighed on me for years, and I finally got to apologize to her at our 20th reunion or something. It's entirely possible that this guy felt crappy after saying it for years. Hot Salt 3. Yeah, you are A here. It was probably very satisfying to say, but you took a conversation to a hurtful place due to your being hurt in the past. That makes it very understandable and perhaps even justified, but still AA territory. If you want a litmus test for being an AA, if you're punching down, you are one. If you're punching up, you are not. The verdict. Success is the best revenge, but silence is the best peace. It's okay to feel proud of how far you've come. You worked hard and proved him wrong. However, when we use our success to poke others, we are actually giving them power over us all over again. It shows that their opinion still matters enough to talk about. The biggest win isn't showing him you're doing better. It's getting to a point where you see him, wish him well, and don't even think about the mean things he said because you're too busy enjoying the life you built. So, are you the asshole? Not really. You're just a person who finally had the chance to stand up to a ghost from his past. It was a bit petty, yes, but it came from a place of old pain. Next time, let your work from home office and your financial freedom be your mic drop. You don't need to say a word. Your life is already doing the talking.